Hi, my name is Kamil and I'm a senior digital designer at RocketMill. Since I was a kid, I've been fascinated with art, but not necessarily with graphic design or paintings. When I was 6, I started playing flute, and then when I was a teenager, I bought my first guitar and became completely obsessed with it, and I play it until now. Then later, I wanted to become an architect, but my teacher advised me to study industrial design. And now, long story short, when I went to uni in my first year, I ended up studying shoe design as the only guy among the girls. My path as designer has taken many turns, but creativity has always played an important part in my life. Art impacts our lives every day, but we all often disagree about what's beautiful or not. And my talk today will be about our perception of art and beauty, and I want to suggest what could be the new direction of art in the 21st century. When we look at any definition of current art, we can see that it's always connected with expressing our minds, emotional power, and a search for beauty. In 1917, Marcel Duchamp, he took a urinal, put it in the museum in Paris, put his name next to it, and he said, "This is a fountain." He said, "This is an art, and it's beautiful." And since then, every class of history of fine arts starts with it, and it opens a discussion. Is it an art or not? Since the beginning of the history, our perception of art and beauty has been changing a lot. In the prehistoric times, artists were not creating a masterpiece, but they were using images to help them to communicate between different worlds. Worlds of spirits, worlds of ancestors, and worlds of gods. Art was sacred. And then in the classical world, art was a reflection of universal ideal of beauty. Artists were looking for the most ideal proportions and order and the harmony to create better and more beautiful world. But from 19th century, artists stopped looking outside and they started looking inside. And the center of their attention was an individual human being. And they started expressing our inner thoughts, feelings, emotions. And in art and design, we started addressing human needs and wants. Your own experience became the very meaning of art. So the question is, in what ism do we live now? According to Yuval Harari, an author of *Sapiens* and *Homo Deus*, the main worldview on this planet since 19th century has not been capitalism or communism or any other religion, but liberal humanism, which is the view that the ultimate meaning in this universe and the source of all authority is not something higher, such as nature or absolute or God, but individual human being. In liberalism, when we face any difficulties in our life, we tell ourselves, connect with yourself, listen to yourself, trust yourself, follow your heart, do what feels good. Try to hear the inner voice within yourself. It will tell you what to do. Listen to it and don't listen to anything else. And it's not only a coincidence. This sounds like any well-known and successful marketing slogan, such as, "Just do it, taste the feeling, fear fearless." So how does liberal humanism impact art? In the past, people had different ideas about what is an art or not, and they believed that there's an objective definition of beauty. We used to look for the meaning outside, but nowadays, everything relates to our own unique experience. It's us, customers, the viewers, who have the highest authority. And art and design became very user-centric. Liberal humanism in marketing is, of course, the rule that customer always comes first. There is no higher authority than customer. So how do we know if the product is good? Only if the customer buys it. Even if we put together the most talented designers in the world and they design the ideal product, in the end, it will be always the end user who will decide if they buy the product or not. There is no higher authority deciding on our behalf about what is good for us. But liberal humanism is now facing a challenge because of information technology and science. In medicine, we are already relying on sophisticated computer systems saving our lives every day. And once we have enough biometric data and processing power, computers will be able to analyze our minds, bodies and emotions to such an extent that authority will inevitably shift from our own decision making to more advanced artificial intelligence. For example, when we are reading, Amazon Kindle is constantly collecting data about what we are reading. It monitors which part of the book do we read quickly, when do we pause, and when do we decide to stop and not read the book again. If Kindle had face recognition and biometric sensors, it would know what influences our heart rate, our blood pressure. It would also know what impacts our emotions. It would know what makes us feel happy when we are sad or angry. We think that we are reading books, but actually books are reading us. This new philosophy of 21st century is called Dataism, and it sees the whole universe as a flow of data. It worships the quantity and quality of data as the highest authority. When we use our mobile phones, this higher authority is telling us if you experience something, record it. If you record something, upload it. If you upload something, share it. Otherwise, you will not be part of the system. There is already something stronger what's making decisions on our behalf, but also it makes us question whether what we feel is still important anymore. For more than a year, I used to wake up with Fitbit in my hand, telling me, "Good morning, Kamil. Today you slept half an hour less than your average, and you still have 10,000 steps to walk." It's quite convenient to rely on smart technology and not listen to our own feelings anymore. In art and design, since 19th century, the highest authority has been our own experience. But nowadays, this authority is shifting to artificial intelligence. It's time to ask the question, who will control the next ism? As I mentioned, our perception of art and beauty is constantly developing. However, there are some principles which still remain the same. The rule of golden ratio, which we've known for centuries, suggests that what we find aesthetically pleasing and beautiful is not based only on our feelings, but can be defined by laws in the nature. It's an expression of the most energy-efficient structure in the universe, and the harmony. The new science suggests that there's a correlation between our consciousness, our body, and wider environment. In the past, we've been searching for this higher authority either outside or inside. But nowadays, we live in a world where everything is interconnected as never before. As a consequence, we need to think about the wider impact of what we are designing. Design needs to enrich the lives of people who use it. I believe that designers have the power to change the way how people think and how we all perceive the world. We live in the age where we are witnessing a revolution in environmental design and architecture, sustainability, mental health awareness, and holistic solutions. The new design of 21st century needs to help us to better connect with the world, so we don't see ourselves as an isolated individual part, but rather as a part of something bigger, whole, and more interconnected. Thank you.